Good morning. This is Mr. Willis, and I'm going to talk with you today about conversions within the metric system or between the metric and the customary system, and continue that using the technique of dimensional analysis. All right, so as we talked about previously, dimensional analysis is a technique where you will start and you will set up sort of a long fraction bar, and then arrange different things that you want to convert. For example, if we wanted to convert, let's just say liters into milliliters within the metric system, we could say, let's see, 1.46 liters. And then know that that the conversion factor from liters to milliliters is 1,000. Now the question then is, which one do we put on the top, which one do we put on the bottom? And since we want the liters to reduce away, we will need to put 1 liter on the bottom, and that is equal to 1,000 milliliters. At that point then our liters will cross out. We'll be left with only milliliters, and 1.46 times 1,000 will end up being equal to 1,460 milliliters. All right, and so that is the basic reminder of dimensional analysis and how that functions. So let's practice that real quickly though within the customary to metric system, and that works the same way, except we just need to use different conversion factors. So let's say that we would like to convert. Let's say that we would like to convert inches into. Let's say that we would like to convert inches into, let's just say, centimeters. So if I wanted to convert inches into centimeters, let's take a look at how we would do that. Let's just say that I'm given, let's say that I measure something and it turns out to be 4.28 inches. But I need to convert that into centimeters. Okay. Now I will tell you, and you would have to know the equivalent conversion for inches to centimeters. So I will go ahead and tell you that 1 inch is actually defined as being 2.54 centimeters. So that is an exact conversion based on the definition of an inch. All right, so I would start off with what I'm given, 4.28 inches, and I would then post that. Let's see, I'm going to draw my line underneath and draw a dividing line there just to help me keep things straight. If you want to put a 1 there to sort of as a placeholder, you can, but it's not necessary. And I know that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. All right, and so then I would know that my inches will cancel out. And then I would take 4.28, multiply by 2.54, and that would give me that number, and centimeters are my remaining unit. So that would actually give me my number of centimeters. All right, so just basic and straightforward, very similar to what we did yesterday, and just a little bit of quick review. Now, what if, so let's go the other way. Let's say, we often have heard about running the 100 meter dash, but how many inches is that? Okay, if you're just curious. And then I might go on to yards. Let's say that I really want to know how many yards 100 meters is. Am I going further than I do if I run the 100-yard dash, or not quite as far? So let's do that little conversion and find out. Now, you could Google and find out how many meters equal how many yards, but we're not going to do that, okay? I'm going to actually take you through the long way based on the conversion factor that I just gave you a minute ago, which is 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. And I'm going to say, hey, let's go from meters into yards, okay? We will pass through inches on the way, but we'll say that our actual goal is going to be to go from 100 meters into X number of yards. And we're going to do that using the conversion factor that we happen to have. All right, so I will start with a great big long line because I know that this is going to be a long question. 100 meters. And I'm going to... Now, the first thing that we need to do, we can't convert that. Our conversion factor happens to be centimeters to inches, which means the first thing I need to do is get meters into centimeters. Well, I happen to know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. All right, and so at that point we'll take our meters will be eliminated, and we will be in centimeters. All right, and so that is actually going to be our remaining unit at that point. Well, let's go ahead then and convert on to. We know that 1 centimeter. Remember, I need to put that on the bottom so that will divide away, and I can continue to progress. Will be equal to, whoops, I made a mistake there, didn't I? And that happens a lot. People just want to put the 1 on the bottom, and that is not always what you need to do. Okay, and so in this case, I need to put the fact that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. All right. And so at that point, my centimeters will go away. Now I'm in inches. And I know that 1 inch is equal to, that there are 36 inches in a yard. So I will once again put 36 inches so that my inches will divide away. And that is going to be equal to 1 yard. Okay, and so now we are ready to just gonna do a little erasing there, shorten that up. Okay, and so now we are ready to do our multiplication and do our math. And so I need to multiply all the way across the top. 100 times 100 times 1 times 1. Let's see, real quickly, let me just be sure. Sure enough, I wanted to start in meters and finish in yards. I started in meters, and now I am left with my final units in yards. So everything should be complete. So I'm going to say equals, and I'm just going to do my math right here. 100 times 100 times 1 times 1. Okay, 100 times 100. And I'm not going to put times 1 times 1. You guys are all bright enough to understand that that will be 1 and will not actually change the value. Now, we're going to divide that then by 1 times 1 times 2.54. Times 36. All right. Now, let's see. 100 times 100 I feel good about. That is 10,000. And 2.54 times 36. Everyone punch that on your calculator real quickly, and I'm going to grab mine. Rule for making teaching videos, always be sure that you have all of your materials before you begin. Just a pro tip for those of you out there, or for those of us in here who didn't follow the tip. All right, 2.54 times 36 is 91.44. So I'm going to take 10,000 and I'm going to divide by 91.44. All right, so 10,000 divided by 91.44, and I'm going to then be left with my final answer of 109.361. Now let's see. Let's look at our. That's an exact number. That's an exact number. This is also an exact number because it is an exact conversion, and that is an exact number. So we actually have an infinite number of significant figures in all of our conversions. So I'll just keep all of the decimals and say 109.361 yards. All right. And so that is just a quick look at how we do conversions between the metric unit and the customary unit. It's no different than our other dimensional analysis. We just have to have some different conversion factors when we go from metric to customary. All right. So what I want to look at now is, what if I were to convert two things at a time? And I'm again going to do from customary to metric. What if someone is driving not on the loop but on a highway somewhere that this is a legal speed, 65 miles per hour, and I would like to convert that to a more common metric unit, and I don't want to convert to kilometers per hour. I want to convert to meters per second. So I'm going to start in miles per hour and convert to meters per second. And here's what I want you to see. You have a distance and a time, and you're going to need to convert to a new distance and a new time. However, never fear, you can do all of that at all in one fell swoop. So let's just go ahead and make our nice big long line, and we're going to start off with what we're given, 65 miles. And this is the first place that you have a good opportunity to make a mistake, so don't do it. And you're tempted to put per hour right up here. No. Remember that per is what we mean by the dividing line. So 65 miles for every 1 hour. So the unit for hours actually then goes down there. Okay, so 65 miles in 1 hour, and now I need to begin converting to meters and to seconds. Okay, now it doesn't actually matter which one I do first. I think that just for fun I'll do to seconds first. So that means that I need to take hours, and since hours is underneath in the denominator, I will need to put its conversion factor up here. 1 hour into 60 minutes, and then 1 minute and 60 seconds. Okay, and so now I'm just going to take a quick little. So my miles is still my current unit, so I'm still in miles, but my hours have gone away and my minutes have gone away. And so I would actually, if I did this math, 65 times 1 times 1, and then divided by 3,600, which is 60 squared, I would actually have miles per second. Okay, so we've gotten ourselves to seconds, and that's where we want to be, so we're going to hang on to that unit. But now we need to go ahead and convert the miles into meters. All right, so let's see. I happen to know that 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers. All right, and so that will then get us into, so our miles, now it doesn't matter that it's all the way over here and all the way over here, they are still on opposite sides of the fraction dividing line, and so they will still divide away. So 1.6 kilometers, and then I need to get that into meters. So 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. All right, so at that point, kilometers will go away, and my final math is going to be 65 times 1 times 1. Let's see, 65 times 1.6 times 1,000, all divided by 1 times 60 times 60 times 1 times 1. Okay, so that looks like the math that we're going to need to do, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's see, and I'm just going to say 65 times 1.6 times 1,000, and I'm going to take all of that inside some parentheses and divide by 60 times 60, and I'm going to come out with 28.8889. Once again, so 28.8 repeating. So 28 point, and again, we could keep as many significant digits as we would like. I will actually just choose to keep 3 this time. Meters per second. So if someone is traveling around 30 meters per second, that is very close to 65 miles an hour. It would actually be a little more. So 30 meters per second would be very close to 70 miles per hour. All right. I hope that was helpful, and we'll let you work through your practice. Let me know if you have any questions.